He says one of us has to die. He's not doing that unstrategically. He's doing it because he knows that guys that are pissed off that he's fighting a 58-year-old Mike Tyson are going to bite that apple. Like he's literally putting that poison apple out there. He's all, hey, one of us has to die. Go ahead, take that bite. Put out a video about it. So everybody's theory was that Conor would not want to fight Buckley after what Buckley said in the octagon. Now, since we're talking about call-outs today and, press conferences, Jake Paul, Mike Tyson, all that, I'm doing this video. I am so excited to do this part of this video because I am going to take a universally accepted thing among the MMA, everybody, every single person seems to agree that Joaquin Buckley wasted his call-out. He wasted it, dude. Why would he call out Conor McGregor? Never going to happen. I am going to prove all of you guys wrong, every single one of you right now. But first, we're going to look at what he said because it was the best call out he could have possibly done for a multitude of reasons. Everybody thinks, oh, well, he's going to say just because people are talking about it. Not correct. And I'm going to prove my point with historical facts. And then you guys can try to push back, but you're all wrong. Daniel Cormier said it is the worst call out of all time. That might be the worst commentary of all time, and I'll show you exactly why. So let's jump right into this thing. We're going to look at Joaquin Buckley's call out, and then we're going to discuss why I'm definitely right when I say it was one of the better call outs ever. Let's go.
Oh, Buckley's rise up through the welterweight rankings continues after a dominant win against Nursultan Ruziboyev that took place this past weekend at UFC St. Louis. Instead of calling out a top welterweight contender, Buckley used his post-fight mic time to call out Conor McGregor. McGregor still hasn't addressed Buckley's call-out, and the UFC welterweight is dumbfounded by the silence. Taking to X, he wrote, "No response from the Notorious. Thought my man would stand on business about the McGregor name, but I guess that long line of McHoes continues on."
I'm about to call out a long line of McHoes that haven't subscribed to this channel and liked this video yet.
I hope McJr. can end that hoe curse that runs in the McGregor's name. Hashtag take the throne, let that hoe go. Fans in the comments.
Okay, so first of all, he's just keeping on going because why would he not? Now, Conor's not going to respond because Conor's fighting very, very soon. Okay, if Conor's focused on every guy that calls him out, that would be stupid, right? Really stupid. He is about to fight Michael Chandler next month. It's literally like in a month. That would be insane for him to be responding. So let's just continue to watch everybody make the absolute worst calls ever. Let's go. Okay, so this has to be the worst call out in UFC history. Okay,
comments roasted Buckley for the call out, writing, "This has to be the worst call out in UFC history. He doesn't know who you are, bud. The only way he will know you even exist and that you called him out is if someone literally shows him. Have some respect for those who made the game what it is today. We know you want that bag, but you have been building a solid fan base and we want to see you compete. That call out caused some frowns because Conor doesn't want to compete, nor will he move you closer to that belt. The money is worth it if he bites, but he won't. You can't even manifest."
Okay, blah, 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 blah. 100 people in a row are like, this is the worst call out ever. Now, let's listen to Cormier also share that opinion, and then I'm going to show you guys exactly why this is so fundamentally incorrect. Ready?
Speaking on the most recent episode of Fat Guy, Good Guy, Cormier called Buckley's call out, quote unquote, worst of all time, and said it was so bad that even the fans booed him in his hometown.
Did you see those double legs? He looked like Jordan Burroughs. He's strong as anybody. He's strong as an ox. He's double-legging this dude, throwing him on the ground. Run. Dangerous opponent. Wins. Gets the microphone. Goes super long, which is very telling of the situation because you never get that much time on the mic. And then he goes to the Conor McGregor thing, and they start to boo him, Jail. How did he manage to turn heel in his hometown?
He asked him to stop.
How did he manage to go heel in his hometown? Then he tells them not to boo him. You can't. I mean, what is it? I have never seen. And in Universal on X, formerly known as Twitter, universally panned as one of the worst call-outs of all time. Now I'm going to see Joaquin Buckley, and he's going to.
Okay, so you guys get the point, right? One of the worst call-outs of all time. That's what everybody says, right? One of the worst call-outs of all time because he has no chance of getting the fight. He has no chance of yada, yada. And now, even though every single person is talking about him now, so right out of the gate, okay, right out of the gate, everyone is wrong. What's the point of your call-out? Do people, when they call people out, oh my God, they always get that fight? Of course not. People who they call out get that fight like when? Almost, well, I'm not going to say never, but very rarely. Very rarely do they get the fight that they call for. okay? Very rarely. So what's the point of the call out? To show your personality and then to get people talking, and he successfully did that. That's not why this is a much better call out than everybody is talking about, though, and I'm going to show you exactly why with historical facts right now. Doubt me. Ready? Doubt me, and then watch this. How about this call out right here, huh? You guys remember this?
Yeah, Conor McGregor, you're taking everything I work for, mother. I'm going to fight your.
Okay, so you guys remember that? You guys remember that call out? Nate Diaz made 40 grand for this fight. 40 grand. Conor McGregor was set to fight for the 155-pound title he was already booked to fight for the 155-pound title. Let me show you exactly where Nate Diaz was at this exact moment. Nate Diaz was 2-3 in his last 5 fights when he called out Conor McGregor. 2-3. He had just won a decision over Michael Johnson after losing to Rafael dos Anjos in the previous fight, who was set to fight Conor McGregor right then. He got a win over Gray Maynard, and the 2 before that, he got beat. 2-3 in his last 5 fights. And he got on the mic and he called out Conor McGregor. There was a 0% chance he was going to get that fight, right? 0%. Worst call out of all time. Profanity-laced call out. And then what happened? What happened? Dos Anjos got hurt, 2-week notice, needed a replacement. Who got the fight? Nate Diaz. Now, if you guys are going to, bottom line, I'm sure a lot of you guys were not around during that time. But look at this. It's an identical situation. Okay? Conor fights in a month. Right there, Conor was already booked and was fighting in 3 months. It's literally identical. You think we're talking about Nate Diaz 2020? You're not. You're talking about Nate Diaz 2015. He was not the current state of Nate Diaz. Dude, Buckley is arguably a bigger star right now than Nate Diaz was at the time, at least even, okay? And Buckley's coming off a bunch of wins. He is a potential huge star. I will tell you right now, that call out from Nate Diaz, which ended up netting him a Conor McGregor short notice fight, which changed his life, proves every single person is absolutely smoking crack when they're calling this the worst call out of all time. They're wrong. They're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. If you need a short notice fight now, Buckley called his grandmammy a hoe. He called his mom a hoe. He called whatever. He went nuts. Am I saying it's like, super classy? No. What I'm saying is everybody's talking about it. And if you need a short notice, welterweight replacement, and you don't have a backup fighter, whatever, if something happens, Buckley just put himself at the top of the list for who would go in and fight, Conor. I don't think the UFC would love that matchup, but nonetheless, okay? It's not a bad call out. It's a great call out. Nate Diaz proved it. Tell me I'm wrong. And explain to me how I'm wrong when I just showed you the exact same thing, which ended up netting him a Conor McGregor fight. Conor McGregor was a way bigger star then, too. Okay? Conor McGregor was at least as big of a star that he was way hotter. You know where Conor was at this point? He'd already won the title. He had already won the 140. He had just knocked out Jose Aldo and then was going to fight for the 155-pound title. He was at the absolute peak of his superstardom. So, I don't love being right all the time, but, this was one of those moments where I'm like, oh, I can't wait to do a video about this because they're all wrong. And now let's move over to Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. All right, so we got to cover the Jake and Mike press conference. I've seen a lot of people covering it. I've seen a lot of people talking about the death match comments, which Jake is like, one of us has to die, son. I'm going to talk about that specifically because I think that is the most interesting narrative that is coming out of this thing as it relates to how I look at Jake Paul and where I think I see him very differently than a lot of people. And Mike Tyson came out soft. Like I was watching him, I'm like, how is Mike going to do? Like, how is Mike going to approach this presser, and the promotion of this fight? Because he's such a soft, nice guy now. You know what I mean? Like, he's such a soft, nice guy. Is he going to pretend like he hates Jake Paul, or how is he going to handle this now? And the answer was very impressive, man. I at first, we're going to go through it right now. But he said one line where I was like, and my hair stood on end, and I was like, all right, dude, let's go, son. All right, let's jump right into it. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. That's what I ask. It's a gentleman's agreement, okay? I'm saying, like, if you're going to watch my content, please subscribe. You don't have to do it. I can't enforce it, but we're going to handshake on it that I would expect you to live up to your side of the agreement. If you're going to keep watching my content, just click subscribe one time. It takes 2 seconds. And all you other guys, please like the video. It helps me out immensely. Let's go ahead and watch, and we'll talk about it.
Explain to the public, explain to the world why this intrigued you, why you ultimately said yes to a fight against Jake Paul.
Well, it was a no-brainer. It was just, he was the new up-and-coming guy in the scene. And I like shaking the sports world to its core, and I'm doing it now. It's just something I want to do.
Let me say something else about that, right? So it's something that Mike wants to do. I've talked about this 1,000 times. Mike does not need the money. Every single time that I say this, I pull one of these out, right? I'm like, you see how Mike's name is on these vapes? Okay, like he has the most successful vape company in the world, or at least top 2. He's making millions of dollars on that, right? Everybody thinks he's just like needs the money. He doesn't need the money, okay? So he wants to do it. Jake is a huge up and comer. He has a lot of power, but this is what it is. Mike looks at Jake Paul. Mike is one of the most educated boxers in the history of the world. No one knows boxing better than Mike Tyson. That's a fact, okay? That is a fact. And he looks at Jake Paul and he could see exactly what he is. He could see how he matches up with him. So when the people that are like, Jake's going to kill him, man. He's going to kill him. Tyson could just objectively look at a guy and see what he's got. And he's like, I don't care if I'm 58, man. He is assessing the fact that he will need to be in very good shape to do this. But Tyson does not think there's any chance that he's going to lose this fight or he wouldn't take the fight. He's being objective about it. That's what he's not going to say, right? But that is the way that Tyson is looking at it. If you watch Mighty Mouse's video that he did on yesterday, he's like, Tyson does everything perfect. He is talking about the fight that Tyson did with Roy Jones Jr., which was, as we know now, an exhibition where they couldn't even punch each other in the head hard. So Tyson, I'm sure Tyson did not train even remotely close to as hard as he is for this fight, for that fight. And he did everything flawlessly. He's impossible to hit. That's what I keep on saying. He's impossible to hit. The peekaboo style on his way in, on his way. He's closing distance. He's moving his head. He's so hard to land anything on. Anyway, let's continue.
And so there has been a lot of talk about your age and the age difference between you two. Yeah. What do you say to the critics? What do you say to the detractors? What do you say to the people who are saying, frankly, you are too old to be fighting a guy who's 28?
Well, I'm beautiful.
It's fact.
That's all I can say.
That's good enough for us.
That's it. He's all beautiful, dog.
You look to be in great shape. How is the training camp going? Because we see the 30-second clips with Rafael Cordero and your whole team, but could you give us a little more insight into how things are going?
I'm doing great, but my body is shit right now. I'm sore. I'm really sore.
I think you're playing possum.
No, I wish.
So I saw a lot of people talking about this, and they're like, see, dude, he's 58. He's telling you right there, he's 58. It's like, okay, he didn't say that he can't perform. He said he's sore. He said, my body's shit right now. I'm sore, right? That's all he said. He's saying he doesn't recover as well as he used to. Recovery is what he's talking about, okay? He's not talking about, am I going to be able to move fast? Am I going to be able to punch hard? He's talking about recovery because he's in training camp. He is absolutely punishing. Well, is he in training camp yet? May, June, July. He might be. Actually, yeah, he's probably in training camp right now. Anyway, he's punishing his body so hard right now in training camp, and he's sore. Right? He doesn't remember, like he didn't used to get this sore. When he fights Jake, he's not gonna be super sore, right? He's gonna go in super fresh, very, very fresh. He's not going to be sore. He is going to be as good as he could possibly be. So like when he said he's shit, it doesn't mean, oh, see, dude, look, man, he's not what he said. It's about recovery in training camp is what he's talking about.
Well, you look to be in fantastic shape, and it's great to see you up here. Jake, how hard was it to put this fight together, to get him to agree to fight you? It sounds like he was game from the jump, but how hard was it?
Yeah, no, he was game. I think he's always wanted to do this. This has been a long time coming. We've been calling each other out for years, and we finally got to make it happen on Netflix, the biggest platform in the world, and things just keep on getting bigger and better. The co-main event, I mean, this is quite literally history that we're looking at right here, and Mike wanted this. Mike wanted it to be a pro fight. He wants the war, and so I respect that. I respect them for taking this fight, for stepping up to try to put an end to me. Because that's what all these fighters have been trying to do, is end the YouTuber. And if Mike can do that, then he's a hero.
Listen, I'm going to address the Jake Paul thing about one of us has to die thing right now. I don't think they included that in this segment, but I want to say this. Bisping hates that shit. Bisping hates this whole thing, obviously. I love Bisping for sure. I have no criticism of Bisping whatsoever. I just think he represents that opinion very well. Like he is one of the, big voices that is representing the opinion that this fight should not happen, that the risk to Mike is too high, that, all that stuff, right? He hates this fight. And what I think is going on, and the reason why I like Jake Paul in general, is because I respect people who don't give a fuck what people think. And one of the things where I look at Logan And I'm like, bro, he will say anything to avoid people talking shit about him, right? He will literally go on Impulsive and read an email that Black Lives Matter sent to him where he's like, the United States is institutionally racist. I am white privilege. And you're like, shut the fuck up, guy. You know, you really think he's saying that because he really believes it? He's saying it because he'll do anything for positive feedback, dude. He hates it when people hammer him, right? And I think that's such a bitch-made trait, right? Jake is the exact opposite of that, okay? Jake has a goal in mind, which is to promote the fight, and he does not give a single solitary fuck what people say. As a matter of fact, if he thinks it's going to be better for the event, if people are talking shit about him and talking shit about it, then that's exactly what he's going to do. And I can tell you that because, I mean, for a multitude of reasons, but one of them being that when he came in against Nate Diaz, I cannot stress this enough. Every single person in the building was chanting, fuck Jake Paul. The whole entire place, everyone, every single person. Chael's 8-year-old son was chanting, fuck Jake Paul. Okay, everyone in the whole place. And you looked at Jake's face, he loved it. He loved it. He wasn't faking it. He's not like, like Colby. I don't think Colby likes people booing him. He can perform under pressure when that happens. Jake likes it, okay? So when he says one of us has to die, he's not doing that unstrategically. He's doing it because he knows that Bisping is going to make that video. He knows that guys that are pissed off that he's fighting a 58-year-old Mike Tyson are going to bite that apple. Like, he's literally putting that poison apple out there. He's all, hey, one of us has to die. Go ahead, take that bite. Put out a video about it. Talk about how irresponsible it is that I'm fighting Mike Tyson. He's doing it on purpose to bait the criticism. That's why I respect it. Has nothing to do with whether or not I think it's cool or not cool that he's fighting Mike Tyson. Obviously, I'm such an enormous Mike Tyson fan that I just can't. Maybe I just can't see this for what it actually is. And just the idea of getting to see Mike Tyson fight for real in a real fight that I think he has a good chance of winning is so seductive that I can't see the forest through the trees or whatever. But I do know that I'm right about that. I know he said that to bait them into saying how irresponsible it is. I know it because that's what he does. And he does not care. You know what I mean? If he baits people into hating him, he likes that. And this is another thing that proves it. He's like, this is a great fight because everybody wants to see Mike Tyson put me down. Everyone wants to see Mike Tyson end the YouTuber. He uses it as promotional fodder, which in my opinion is very impressive, dude. Like, being able to kind of court negative feedback, that is not an easy thing for people to take. And if you really are detached from people fucking with you, that's an incredibly strong place to be mentally and just in your life in general. Let's continue.
Is that the goal here? Are you trying to put an end to Jake Paul?
Well, no, I really like Jake a lot, but once he's in that ring, he has to fight like his life is dependent on it, because it will be.
That's what I'm talking about. That line right there. That's when I was like, all right. It doesn't matter how nice Tyson is in these pressers. Now, he's not going to be nice. He is going to be absolutely fierce in the ring. He just said it. He said, no, I'm not trying to end him. I like Jake Paul. But when he's in the ring, he's going to have to fight like his life depends on it, because it will.
The sentiment seems to be that, Jake. Every person that I speak to who's around kind of my age says, I hope Mike Tyson, for lack of a better word, beats you the hell up, right? I mean, just completely ends your boxing career. Do you sense that sentiment from the public as well?
For sure.
Dude, that's a sick-ass shirt that Jake's wearing, for the record.
I think it's 50-50, I truly believe that there's a lot of people who, see me as an arrogant asshole, which I can be sometimes, but I'm just having fun and entertaining the world.
That's exactly how I see him. That really is exactly how I see him. I really believe that. That's not who he really is. He's just fucking around, dude. He's baiting the criticism.
And I do think that the older generation wants people to see Mike knock me out, but at the end of the day, I also have the kids, the middle schoolers, the high schoolers, the college students rooting for me and want to see me and Mike.
What about this deal with Netflix? How did this come about? Unprecedented, never before. This is their first entry into the world of live combat sports. How did you and Nikisa get it done?
Yeah, look, it's most valuable promotions that have been changing the game since we came into the promotional business, and we just continue to level up and do things differently and see gaps in the market that no one else has identified. And we wanted to work with Netflix. They liked the idea and see the vision in what we're building, what type of events we can put on. And this is quite literally the biggest fight of the 21st century because of the fact that it's Mike Tyson versus me, but also the fact that it's in 700 million households.
That's a fact. Honestly, that's a fact. I cannot believe that I'm saying this, but I honestly believe that more people are going to watch this fight than probably any other fight that's happened. I don't know, because it's free. It's absolutely free. You don't need to know where to stream. You don't need to know where to get like a free stream. You don't have to pay for it, whatever. It's so controversial. Everyone is going to watch it. Everyone is going to watch it. You know what I'm saying? So, and I just want to say this right now. I'm going to say this about the fight in general. If Mike Tyson does get hurt, okay? Like if he gets hurt, like really hurt, I will own the fact that I said all the things that I said. I said that Mike Tyson was going to win. I'll own the fact that I said that I was excited for the fight. I'll own the fact that I didn't shit on the fight from the beginning. All of that. But if Mike Tyson starts as Jake Paul, okay? If Mike Tyson starts as Jake Paul, I am going to tap dance for an hour and a half on my channel and not say a goddamn word. And all of you guys have to just watch it. Like I'm just going to be going like this, like. And everybody knows what I'm doing. Like, people come on the live stream and they're like, what the fuck is he doing? It's like, you guys in the chat just tell them. They're like, oh, he's showboating. Like, he's just showboating. Tyson starts Jake in the second. He's showboating. So I'll just be like, for an hour and a half. So, anyway, let's move on to our next story.